Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. And welcome back to the Story Nook. This is going to be a rare one where I'm actually recording in my bedroom at home and not in my car. So, woo! So today I'm going to be reading 3 stories from Tales from Tech Support. So, yeah, and all of these are from the same saga. They're the same line of story. They're all posted by the same OP. So let's go ahead and dive into it. And these stories are posted by user Lambert Ranger. Pardon me, I'm going to increase the scale a bit, because since I don't have the computer in my lap, there's going to be a bit of distance between me and the computer today. So, I don't want to squint my eyes, because I have bad eyes, and I don't feel like going to the doctor to get another glasses prescription right now. I should. Not doing it. So, this story is titled, The Epic of Bob, the printer who's allergic to paper. Now, I did read this earlier when I saw it, and I remember putting the link to it in my personal Discord server to be like, hey, I want to read this on the channel. I have forgot what this is about, but the fact there's a printer allergic to paper sounds hilarious. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm not an IT professional, so I'm nowhere near the ability level of you guys. I'm an apprentice reprographer, and therefore deal exhaustively with that evil called printers. I am, however, the most computer literate person in the department, despite being a techie friend, and the IT guys at work encouraged me to share this story. This means I get to ask for help with everything from I can't access the ordering system, which my workplace admins had accidentally blacklisted, to the printer's on fire. We don't run Linux, so that worried me, but it was luckily a program problem with a printing software which unfortunately has fire in the name. Then there's Bob. Bob is my machine. There are many like him, but Bob is mine. Not really, he's one of a kind, but my boss is fond of the creed. I named Bob, and you can probably guess why. He's 5 years old, which is about as old as high-volume machines get, and he lets us know that with various little faults and niggles. I've never heard the word niggles before. Did they mean giggles? I think they meant giggles. Because I've never heard that word before, and I'm hoping it's not like a weird thing. I'm gonna Google it, because I'm just like, what is that word? It sounds too much like a slur. Cause slight persistent annoyance, discomfort, or anxiety. Okay. A trifling complaint, dispute, or criticism. So it is an actual word, and it's not racist. So, it just sounds like it. I had to know if I needed to cut some shit out. He knows we're shopping for a replacement. The biggest of these niggles is that, for a long time, we thought he was allergic to paper. It all started with a minor issue, something with staple alignment. Minor, but enough that my boss made me call printer support. They, in turn, with a couple of days' delay, sent out an engineer. The engineer fiddled a bit, left, came back the next day with a part, fitted the part, left, sorted. Was it heck? Every job we printed after that jammed. Every job. Called printer company again. I'm informed that they'll come out and have a look as long as my boss doesn't at any point talk to the engineer. He's aggressive. They come out the next day, decide new part is faulty, come back 3 days later to replace it, couple of test prints, all okay. But by that afternoon, Bob was playing up again. Thanks, Bob. This went on for a couple of weeks. We had 4 different engineers come in at various times. 20 different visits, sometimes 2 at a time. The stapler was replaced, the puncher, the motherboard, the this, that, and the other, over 50 different parts. Wow, Bob is just like, nope, I want to be a whole brand new person. And I'm still going to be petty. Every time it would pass the test prints and go wrong a couple of hours later. We had a senior engineer watch me and my boss operating the machine to see if it was nothing we'd had done. Fair enough, I would do the same. You know it's bad when you start buying in different teas and coffees because you know preferred brands. Nothing worked. There are 37 separate operator accessible paper clearing points on Bob's model, and he's regularly jammed in 36 of them, and a couple of other places for good measure. In between visits, we'd be advised to try and use him till the next critical jam. All through this process, my boss blamed me since it happened around the time I started, the printer engineer. And God, I decided Bob was allergic to paper. We were scraping as jam waste 8 times what he successfully print. We went through so much paper our supplier upgraded us from a Christmas card to a gift basket. Your supplier's happy, they're getting money here. Thanks, Bob. The engineers were out of ideas. My boss brought in a cricket bat and a baseball bat for me. Before Bob was dispatched, we'd give him one last day to redeem himself. We were busy, and that means I decided to stick the scan jobs on to Bob, only to find that part of Bob worked flawlessly. I mentioned this to Boss, who shrugged, and I ruminated on this for a while. Why could I scan and copy on Bob, but not print from electronic sources? It wasn't the job management software. It worked on the other machines. Eventually, I narrowed my target to the banner sheet. It would always jam between the banner sheet and the job proper. Sometimes elsewhere, but always there. Told the boss, who didn't believe it was possible. Told the engineer, who'd never heard of it before. He called colleagues, tried to explain it, couldn't be asked. Got me to, and came up with precisely nothing. He left with the promise of consulting for a solution with the head office. Bob really playing with y'all, isn't he? Meanwhile, I was being told to send anything and everything through Bob to work out tolerances. I actually managed to find a bodge fix, sending the banner sheet after. Simple as that. After all that work, printer engineer decided this was good enough. We still haven't worked out a permanent solution, but I'm prouder than I should be of my trial and error. That tends to be how it is with most jobs. I've done more impressive support, fixing a binding machine and working out why our job dispatching software was automatically doubling some jobs. But Bob, the little machine that still won't, is the boss's go-to reason for bothering me rather than actual IT. So I thought you might be interested. I like Bob, as you can tell. I like Bob, the printer allergic to paper, because Bob makes me laugh. Bob makes me happy. And we're gonna go ahead and go on to part 2 before I burst into giggles, and then after I'm done recording this, I'll have to get dressed for work, because I don't make enough money on YouTube. I made $13 last month, though, so that's nice. Thanks, guys. Hit the like button and comment so my videos will get in front of more people. So yeah, thank you. The second part, the Franken printer. Don't trust the accountants. This is not a continuation of Bob's story. Bob is still a mystery, but thanks to whoever posted the St. Augustine suggestion, as that seems to have done more good than anything else we've tried. No, this is the Franken printer. I work in a college print shop with high-performance printers, where we handle all the big jobs, anything that needs lots of finishing, and anything staff are too lazy to handle themselves. In addition, there are smaller instruments of evil, office MFPs, for each department. Maintenance for those is mostly IT's job. They handle software, networking, and stuff like that. We in Repro get a call before they call in the outside printer engineers because we're trained to do some hardware fixes. Staff are trusted to change toners and paper themselves. Thus, story is how I've learned that may be too much rope for them. One particular problem keeps getting bounced from IT. It's user $Mick, and he is either the laziest or most inept person on the planet. Toner run out, ring IT and ask them to change it. IT says it's a repo issue because repo has the toners. Call repo and ask them to come down and change it. Naturally refuse, as though we supply the toners. Staff have previously complained we mucked up their settings when we changed them. It's their bed, they can lie in it. Mick doesn't like this and insists we come out. Mick is really lazy, I see your point. We let this go on for a while since Mick's colleagues usually sort the problem. Then Friday the 13th happens. Whoa! I'm alone in my office on Fridays. Yes, me, an apprentice, is left alone for a day a week. My day started to be ruined when our paper delivery failed to arrive. Maybe they were just like, Bob hasn't been can y'all order more paper? We're just gonna push that back a little bit. Tell y'all waste more paper and order more. Thanks, Bob. We run out of paper to give to staff, and I put a note up. I leave for lunch, and I lock my office. Relevant aside, if we have a lot of printing for the same person, I'll put it in a paper box, which is clearly marked with the staff member's name and department. I return to find two things. A paper box missing. Big no, I guess someone picked it up using next door's spare key. And an urgent message from IT. You gotta see this. It's a you problem. Bye. Paraphrase. The reference was Mike's department office. Fucking shit, Mike. This poor printer. It had red lights all over it and was making a funny noise. I opened it up, noting the lack of any error numbers. Just call service rep. This is not normal. I open the toner bay. I find a toner for a completely different printer stuck in there, and they are not interchangeable. It's made a mess of the whole bay, but somehow it is dispensing toner. I clean up what I can, make a note of the shattered plastic, and prepare to call the engineers for a conversation that will cost me dignity and the college $5,000. Oh, fuck. But I knew there must be more, seeing as it had been reported to IT that it was printing 2 jobs on 1 page. Which is downright weird. I opened the scanner unit to find a massive gouge taken out of the glass plate. Unsure of how that happened, I logged that too. That doesn't solve the 2 sets issue. Unless a horrible thought occurred. They were using new paper. No, I thought, they can't be that stupid. I opened up the paper cassette, and what I found was worse than I could have imagined. 1, the rollers are not the ones they should be. Evidently, the accountants have reached a level of confidence where they are now replacing parts themselves, which would be great if it was the right brand or even size. 2, they are using paper which they've nicked from my office. Paper that has already been printed. Surely they must have noticed. Evidently not. Their stolen paper worked fine up until they reached the stapled sheets, which has gummed up the machine right up. I give up after 20 minutes of trying to pick stapled paper out of the inner workings, as they've made it surprisingly far. I replace the rollers and the waste toner unit. Bodged water bottle. So there are 2 less things for the engineers to cry about. My final job is to gather the serial code and fault codes for the engineer. Serial code was easy enough, but fault code, good lord did the printer have a sense of humor. Instead of displaying an error code, it displayed the name of the last user to send a job, and therefore, it's murderer. Dollar Mike, the accountant. Yeah, that printer's just like, this bastard done killed me now. Get him! Don't let me die in vain. Today, we had the reckoning. Engineer was here for 5 hours. We were honest, told him the full story. He was honest, told us we were screwed. I love how those OP writes. They have a beautiful way of writing, and it makes me so happy. He did what he could, then arranged for a pickup of Franken printer. The accountants have voided the lease. They haven't vowed shit. They broke shit. They done broke all their vows to that poor printer. They voided the lease, and it'll cost about $5,000 to get a new printer. Guess we will respond to change toner jobs from now on. Yeah, because Dollar Mike's a murderer. I shouldn't be laughing. But damn, isn't it funny? It is super duper funny. Alright, we're gonna go on to our last and final part. Well, I have tears of joy and laughter in my eyes. Thank you, OP. You done give me life and happiness and joy. Update on the Franken printer. And this was posted 13 days ago. I think. We'll refresh it. We'll see if that number changes. Yeah, it was 13 days ago. But update on the Franken printer. Lots of you have asked for an update on whether Dollar Mike, the accountant, lost his job. Sorry, it's a bit delayed. But we've had... Oh god. OFSTED. Ofsted. Inspectors in regulatory body for education. And the teachers have been stressed out, which makes my life not worth living seeing as waste flows downhill, and I'm at the bottom of a valley. Mike the accountant still has his job, for now. This is because they decided that the full facts of the case are even worse than the Franken printer. He also, amazingly, remains unmurdered. One, the job he was printing was basically a how-to guide to tax evasion. We discovered this when he was ordered to send all printing no matter what through us. 2, this illegal how-to guide contained large portions of a guide for accountants on how to spot tax evasion. This breaks the Copyright and Licensing Act of 1988 and makes both him and the college liable to a big fine if caught. Oh, fucking shit. 3, he broke the Franken printer's replacement beyond repair in less than 24 hours. We're not sure how he did it. A cigarette was apparently involved, but not how you would think. How would a cigarette break a printer? Because even my brain can't think of how a cigarette would break a printer right now. And it's not how I would think. Because, like, what I would think, like, did he put a cigarette in a printer? Because he sounds stupid. Like, did he put a cigarette in the printer and light the cigarette so the printer could have a smoke before he fucked it up? It's like, what the fuck? But the printer company have declined to replace it, even on a full-service contract. They also are reviewing the rest of their premise contract. One man is making a company question a mega lucrative contract. Oh shit, Mike! Dollar Mike the accountant, why would you do this to us? So there you go. our policies are also changing. No more coming in while I'm out. I have to eat my lunch at my desk, and we're not getting cameras. But they are paying for new handy-dandy boxes for large print jobs so they don't look like paper boxes. Though only an idiot can't tell the difference. Best of all, I have to do a presentation at the next all-staff meeting on safe use and care for photocopiers. I have a care and feeding slideshow with IT's help to move a copier on stage. I'm borrowing a 7-year-old cousin to prove it's so easy even a child can manage better than them. That to me is hilarious. I'm still upset that Mike still has his job for now, but I get it. You have like a lot of people like coming in and out. There's no more updates on this, but I hope to get it soon. But I really like how this OP writes. They're great writer. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a follow so I can follow this person, see more of their stuff. It's hard when I'm so zoomed in. There we go. So yeah, follow them, so hopefully I'll be able to see their updates easier. But yeah, that is the story of Bob the printer allergic to paper and the Franken printer. Thank you all for joining me on this story. Leave a comment with any stories you would like to share, from IT things to whatever, and I might read them on the channel. Or just let me know what other kinds of like stories you would like me to read. I tend to read anything really, from fan fiction to Reddit stories. I'm thinking about diving into stories r/stories from Kevin's, or whatever that subreddit is. I think it's stories about Kevin's is the actual subreddit. I don't know. I saw Redx read some stories from there, and it was really inspiring, and I've skimmed through a couple of them. So yeah, let me know what you would like me to read. I'm actually going to try to do at least record one video a day. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to edit one video a day, but I'm going to try to record one a day. And then yeah, thank you all for being here, for being awesome. Have a great day. And yeah, bye-bye.